All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out the World Finals, the battle between first and second place. Battle of the Sakazukis here. And just to break this down real quick, on the player on the left is the player from Malaysia, and the player on the right is the player from Croatia. I cannot pronounce either of their names, so bear with me. But we're at least going to check out this is game one. It's a best of three. We're going to check out game one. We'll see how the video does to see if we do game two or not. So I got this volume off. We got it sped up to 2x speed. And I'm just going to use, in this video, we're going to be breaking down the matchup a little bit, analyzing it, and then we're going to look at each player's deck list afterwards and at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this, guys, and see how this goes. This is my first time seeing the whole match because I did not get to. This game was on at like 3 in the morning over in the East, where I live in the Eastern time zone in the United States. So we're like -5 EST, I think it's called. And yeah, I did not get to watch this at all. I passed out way before. I tried, though. All right, so here we go, guys. Starting hand for the player on the left, the player from Malaysia. He is running Sanji's Pilaf. Okay, very, very nice. He's running, so in this hand, he's got Branu, Kuzan, Sanji's Pilaf, Sabo, and Lucci. This is a very, very strong starting hand. It doesn't even have a 2K counter. And I say that in like the most like endearing, good way possible, or however you'd say that. Early on, Sakazuki tends to want to draw a few cards from their life, like maybe take their first 2 life cards, and that's fine. So that way they can get some hand advantage and have more answers and deal with things the most efficient way possible. Notice every one of these cards his hand draws, okay? And then the Lucci is just obviously a great card for KOing. Yeah, this is a great starting hand for the player on the left. And I don't know who goes first or second, but if this player is going second, that seems very solid. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the player on the right starting hand. Okay, this player does have a 2K counter, which is not the end of the world, obviously. It's not like it's a bad thing. But he has the Monshri, the Borsalino, a Kuzan, and a Hina. So if I had to pick a starting hand between the two, I am picking the player on the left, the Malaysian player, the first hand we saw. I'm picking that every single time. This player on the right from Croatia did not get a pull as good, in my personal opinion, because one more thing before they start. Number one, this board setup, everything looks great. Excellent looking production, solid. But the player on the left, he has a turn 1 play if he's going second with Branu, or a turn 2 play if he's going first with Branu or the Sanji's Pilaf, depending on what he wants. So just a great starting hand. I'm a big fan of the Sanji's Pilaf in the Sakazuki deck. Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Okay, so here we go. I think they're about to start. We're just going to fast forward. Okay, and there's the handshake. So, okay, the player on the right did go first. So, even worse. So, not only did he not get a pull as good as the player on the left, but he also had to go first. I prefer going second in the mirror. You draw a card. You get to play more reactionary, whereas the player on the right gets to play more, you know, they're the more active player because they get to attack first. So, turn 1, brand new search, sees a Sanji's Pilaf, I think that's a Suru. I think that's an Alt-Art Suru, and then a Great Eruption. So it looks like he's going to grab the Great Eruption out of the two. Pretty standard decision there. Again, they don't really need 2K counters in the opening hand. They want to take a few cards of life and get as many, strong answers as possible. Okay, and he also cycles out the other Sanji's Pilaf for another card. I did not see what he got. Okay, and now it's the player on the right, player from Croatia, swinging in for 5, -1 to the brand new, but that's not going to do anything. Gets a Borsalino from life, and I think he's got 3 Dawn here. Okay, he's going to cycle out the Manshuri with the leader effect. Gets a Suru. He's got his hand on the Hina. And I wouldn't be surprised if he plays out the Hina, though he might not want it to get, like, Hound Blazed. Okay, it looks like he reconsidered. He reconsidered as well. I probably would have still played it. I'm not going to lie. That's just me personally. Like, just start getting answers out of his hand and start going that way. But clearly these guys are incredible players. There's a reason they're at the world stage here. This is the battle. This is the best of 3 for first and second place here, guys. Okay, so he plays out the Kuzan, and this is what. Let me say this real quick. This is why I would have played out the Hina, because he's going to develop his board now into a Kuzan, which replaces itself. It's a card that draws as soon as it comes into play, and now he has 2 things on the board that his opponent has to answer. Okay. And he can answer them. It's not like, it's not like there's no answers for this, but we'll see if he draws into them. Okay, what just happened? It seems like he just drew like 3 cards. I don't know what just happened. Or, oh, maybe he was arranging his cards. Let me see. Okay, so he plays that. trashes the Saba to draw a card, and okay, then he arranges the cards in his hand and passes turn. Oh, all right. So it is. Okay, let's take a look here. He does have a Kaido in hand. The player on the right, this is the Croatian player. He has 7-cost Borsalino. He has a 10-cost Kaido. It is way too early for this Kaido. And I'm going to be honest, I personally don't like Kaido into the mirror that much. Yeah, sure, if you can drop it down, it's going to be massive. But at the same time, I would rather just... I'd rather fill out the board. Okay, he trashes Borsalino, draws a Tashigi, swings 6 at life here, and probably -1 to the Kuzan, I would imagine. Not that I don't think it will matter, because he doesn't have a Lucci in hand. Okay, no Houndblaze, no Lucci. Okay, he did draw a Houndblaze from the Kuzan. Okay, so that's good. All right. And the player on the left is going to attack now. Swing 5 at face, -4 to your Kuzan, obviously. Let's see what happens. He gives him a 2k counter. Swing 5, -1 again. He's already at 0. And 2k counter out. Brand new. Let's see what he gets. Top 3 search. Wow. Okay, so Tashigi, Hina, and Houndblaze here. I think this is a no-brainer Houndblaze pull. And then he's probably... I don't think you use Houndblaze, though. I'm going to say that right now. I would save my Houndblazes for the Hina and for the Rebecca. Okay, that's just me personally. I would just Lucci here, because he has 2 in hand, right? Yeah, he has 2 Luccis in hand and 2 Rebeccas. So I personally would just Lucci here, get this card out of the way, establish the 4-cost 6k body. Okay, he plays... No, excuse me. He cycles out of Borsalino, and he does play the Lucci there. He's going to return the Pilaf, 2 Pilafs and a Suru to the bottom of the deck, and your turn. Okay, so player on the right is in a less than ideal situation, right? The player on the left's hand is just incredible, and the player on the right is kind of up against the ropes right now, in my personal opinion. Not to say he can't win, but that he just... I mean, look at his hand here. So this turn he is on, it looks like 7, I believe. Let me see if I can count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dawn. He can play out the 7-cost Borsalino, or maybe try to develop a Hina and Houndblaze one of his opponent's characters off the board. So in this specific situation, I would be trashing a Hina from my hand to draw a card to cycle, and then I'm playing out the 7-cost Borsalino unless I drew something better, because they're just... This hand is miserable, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, compared to the player on the left, this is not the greatest hand. This is a less than ideal hand, like I said. Definitely swing into the Kuzan at some point. Let's see what he cycles to as well. I don't think we've seen his cycle yet, have we? Okay, yeah, trashes the Hina, like I was saying. Draw a card, gets a 3rd Suru. So unlucky. Extremely unlucky, but he's staying poised. You don't want to give any information. Guys, one thing that players do all the time, and it gives away such a huge tell, when you draw a card or you cycle a card, and you see your card, and you're like, oh, like, and you show that you're upset about it or that you're frustrated. Do not do that. Just be like, okay, got it. You keep going. Okay, so minus... Okay, I see what he's going to do. So -4 to probably the Lucci, and then he's going to Houndblaze the Lucci and swing everything into the Kuzan that's tapped, pretty much ensuring that it gets KO'd. Yep, okay, and that was a good play. That was definitely a good play there. That'll do it. That'll help clear up the board. But there are 2 bodies left. There are 2 brand news left for the Sakazuki player. And we know the way Houndblaze works. And, okay, hang on. So... yeah, this Hina is like almost 1,000,000% getting bottom decked here. I could be wrong, but like, think about it. You've got the 2 the 2 brand news on the board, 6 at life. You spin 2, you can swing 6 more at life with a brand new, and then bottom deck the Hina so it doesn't come back. And then you still have, what is that, 4 Dawn left, or 4 or 5 Dawn left. Oh, he just 7s. Okay, I didn't see when he drew that. I'm sorry, I did not see when he drew the 7-cost Borsalino. So that was massive. Just get that card out of the way, establish some pressure, and yeah. That's another thing that I will say that would have probably been nice if he could have well, no, excuse me, I take it back. So he could not. Let me say this. I'm walking it back a little bit, guys. Like, I would have liked for him to play the Borsalino to bottom deck, like maybe the 4-cost Kuzan, because you can swing 5 into the Kuzan first to see what he does and -1 to it, and then if he defends with it, you can play out your 7-cost Borsalino, and that prevents the player on the left from playing out theirs. Now, again, I'm not saying that or let me specify, I'm not saying that there's not a follow-up play for the player on the left. There is, but I feel like just getting these bodies down is so important. Okay, so swing 6 and -1. I'm assuming this is... yeah, okay. He wasn't pointing, but he was probably saying it through his microphone. It was on the 7-cost Borsalino. So he gets down a Suru, which is really just for the -2 cost, obviously. Swing -1 from the leader, and just bottom decks a 7 cost Borsalino. Okay, so we are at 10 Dawn now. So the player on the right was at 9 last turn. Player on the left is having his first 10 Dawn turn. He has access to all of his resources. He has 2 Great Eruptions, Houndblaze, Kuzan, Borsalino, 3 Rebekahs. This hand is absolutely stacked. Right, this hand is absolutely stacked. Let's see what happens here. He has a lot of options. He's looking for some stuff to do out of the trash. So he's probably favoring a Rebekah play. Trashes Borsalino with the leader's effect to cycle. Swing 5. I'm assuming -1 to the Borsalino. Who else would it be to? Did he have his hand on Monstry? I think I'm going to hit play, or I'm hit back and see what he did there. He was thinking about Monstry there, I believe. He was thinking about playing Monstry. Changes his mind. Which I agree. I would stay active here. I don't think he needs to, well, I guess maybe he's determining he'll have 2 Dawn left. Yeah, in that case, just swing with it. Yeah, go 5 at face, get another card out of your opponent's hand, or they lose a life. Okay. The opponent is down to 3 cards in hand, and the player, okay, let me say it like this. The player on the right has only 3 cards left in hand. The player on the left has like 8. So this is a dire situation. An absolutely dire situation for the player on the right. Rebekah, Hina combo into Rob Lucci, wipe your board, your turn, right? I mean, that's, oh yeah, do the Lucci effect, your turn. This is a horrible position. Unless he can top deck, no, he has a Hina. Okay, this is why I was saying, like, I mean, I don't know if it would have mattered at all, but like in the mirror match, I don't feel like the 10 cost Kaido's that good. I feel like in the mirror match, or excuse me, I feel like in yellow, the 10 cost Kaido is incredible because it's like your only way to fight for the board, right? Because they're gonna drop down like a 10 lin of their own at some point, or maybe some big like Katakuri character or Yamato. But in the mirror match, what are you trying to establish? Like look at what the player on the left is doing. He's just filling out the board with little bodies, and he's daring you. Like, literally, he's daring him to play out the 10 cost character. Yeah, I think he might. Swing 5 at probably Hina, okay, and -1. Plays out 10 cost Kaido. Okay, draw 4, and your turn. So he drew a Ice Age, a brand new, a 7 cost Borsalino, and a 4 cost Rebekah. Okay. I guess he... Does this guy just not draw his Rob Lucci's, or does he just not run them? We're going to look at the list after this game. I have the list up on another tab, but he just is not getting his Rob Lucci's. This is crazy. Like, he's like looking through his trash. Like, is this real life right now? You know, that happens, by the way, in games. Let's not make excuses. Let me say this real quick. This is not about making excuses, but it is about reality. Every now and then, you just won't pull what you need to. You will not draw the cards you need to draw. It just simply happens. It's unfortunate when it does. Don't use it as an excuse to, like, you know, justify, like, oh, I lost because of this. No, like, always try to get better. Like, what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently? But, I mean, let's just be honest here. This guy's not drawn a single Lucci, and how many cards has he gone through over there? Like, I think he's done cycle through about 15 cards in his deck at this point in the game and drawn cards. Trashes Borsalino, gets a Lucci. Okay, so he does get a Lucci there. That was nice. If he can survive this turn, maybe he can turn the tempo of this game. But I'm not going to lie. The player on the left, the Malaysian player, is his hand is absolutely incredible. His hand is absolutely stacked. So, all right, so here comes the swings. Swing 5, -1 to your Kaido. Swing 7 to face. This is probably going to get eaten. Yep, take that. And what does he get? I couldn't see what it was. Great Eruption. Wait, okay, he's doing stuff really fast here. Great Eruption. Hang on. Okay, so Great Eruption, -2 there. Cycle Hina, draw a card. Pay 1, Great Eruption, -2 there. So he's got -5 on this guy so far. And then he's going to Hina, combo, that there. Sorry, he's doing this so quickly. And now it's going to swing 7 more like with the brand new. Okay, so you saw what he did there, right, guys? He dropped him down to 5, did the Rebekah Hina combo to -4 to get him down to 1, the Kaido down to 1. Plays out the Great Eruption, swing, and then attaches the final Dawn to swing for 7 at leader, removing the Kaido. Okay, and he's going to take it. He is going to take it. Maybe, did he not have the ability to counter out of that? Because that was one you probably need to counter out of, realistically, but we'll have to see. I don't think he had the counters in hand. Yeah, he would have had to get rid of like 3 cards. I don't think it would have been worth it. He'd got rid of like Rebekah. Okay, so from here, I think the most important thing is to get rid of bodies. I think you swing 5 at the brand new. I think you swing 5 at brand new. Okay, or he's got a Hound Blaze. Swing into the Hina, I'm assuming, and block with the Rebecca. Oh, okay, yeah. The judge was telling him to get the Hound Blaze for your trash cycle. So plays out Rebecca, gets out the Hina, -4 to the Lucci, KO those two. I think he -1 the Hina with the attack from the leader. And okay, he's back in this game to some extent. He wants to see his trash. Okay, and yeah, so -2 to the pause. This is the execute right here from coming in from the Sakazuki player on the left, the Malaysian player. He knows there's no way the player from Croatia has enough 2K counters to survive this. He's going Great Eruption to remove the single blocker that was on the board, and he's going to load everything up here and swing for 7 + 3 is 15K. Swinging for 15K at life, and that's that. Okay, so the player on the left, the Malaysian player, wins game 1. We're only doing the first game today, guys. It won't say winner, of course, because this is a best of 3. Okay, so that was a good game. That was really interesting, and we probably will mess with that later. With the second game I'll probably do later. But this is the deck for the player on the left. His name is, I'm going to try this, guys. I'm going to butcher it, but I think it's Guanrong, perhaps. I apologize if I'm butchering that. I'm just, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I have no idea how to say that name. But the Malaysian player had a very, very clean version of Sakazuki. Look at this. 4 Hound... I'm going to go backwards, guys. 4 Hound Blaze, 4 Sanji's Pilaf, 2 Ice Age, 4 Great Eruption, 3 Borsellino 7 cost, 4 Rob Lucci, 4 Rebecca, 2 Moncherie, 1 Sabo, 4 Brand New, 4 Subaru, 4 Hina, 4 Tashigi, and then 3 and 3 for the Kuzan and Borsellino. I love that. Like, I love the tech here on just running the 3. Let me go full screen with this. There we go. I think this is like... I always ran it this way as well. Like, I thought this was the way to run it. I'm a big fan of the Kuzan because even if he gets met with a Hound Blaze or some type of removal, whatever it might be, I don't care if it's like a Thunderbolt or whatever. Okay, you KO'd or removed my card that already gave me the value back, and that took up some Dawn from your turn, whatever it was. Unless it was a trigger, obviously, that's different. But long story short, though, this card is excellent. Big fan of that. Huge fan of the Sanji's Pilaf, guys. This card... I thought this card was so good. I was running this for a while over the Kaidos, but then I'm not going to lie, I did swap to the Kaidos from my own local meta because there's a lot of yellow players and whatnot, and it is what it is. But if you have a feeling you're going to go against a bunch of Sakazukis, I feel like the Sanji's Pilafs are just the way to go. But in all fairness, the player did not use them in the game we watched, so we'll have to see if he plays it in the next game or in another game we might cover in the future. Yeah, so that's this list. Now let's look at the player on the right, the player from Croatia. It says his name is Railzo. I'm not sure how to say that either, and I have no idea what his legitimate, his real name is. But this is the list he was running. Okay, let's go ahead and go normal with this one. So 4 Borsellinos, 3 Kuzans, 4 Tashigis, 4 Hina, 4 Suru, 4 Brand New, 4 1 Bartolomeo, not 4, 1 Bartolomeo. Sorry, guys. 2 Moncherie, 4 Rebecca, 4 Lucci, 2 Kaidos, 2 of the big boys, 2 Hinas, 3 Borsellino, 4 Great Eruption, 1 Ice Age, only a single Ice Age, and 4 Hound Blazes. And man, that was a real heartbreaking game where he cycled through as many cards as he did. And I think the player on the right, the Croatian player, only saw a single Hound Blaze and a single Rob Lucci, whereas the player on the left, it was just they just kept coming. But again, solid. Both of these decks are obviously highly competitive and can do anything, as far as the current meta goes. But honestly, I'm going to say this. I like the Sanji's Pilaf if you know you're going into more of a non-yellow meta. But how could you know that? It was just a gamble, right? But Kaido going into yellow does feel really good. At least that's just from my personal experience, on the sim and at locals and things like that, and just from talking to people. But I'm a big fan of the Kaido into certain matchups. But the Sanji's Pilaf, I just love that. Coming from Magic the Gathering, let me go back. Coming from Magic the Gathering, Divination, right? Pay 3, draw 2 every single time. You love it. And if you get on the trigger, it's just insane value. Just awesome. Right, guys, that's about it for this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. If you've got any comments or questions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, peace.